Hello everyone, I'm Silverraptor and welcome back to another Wargame Red Dragon replay commentary video where we are playing with the Blue Dragon deck that we created in the last video. I am going down the center here and taking over onto Foxtrot. We've got one Surikov is going over onto the left to take over Charlie, and we've got two people over here onto the right side going to try to take that town. So you know my curse, we never get to town at the beginning. But we'll see if they can break it. Let's get this game underway. At the start, I've got a ninja for a bit of exceptional recon action and a little bit of AA in case they try to do a little bit of a heli rush. And then I've got a whole huge convoy going straight down the center here at the start. We've got a number of wheeled vehicles and tracked, so it gives me a little bit of time to figure out how to organize my troops as they go off. Over onto the right side, we've got a Anzac napalm bomber. It's going to come in, probably going to try to stop them from getting into the town by dropping a few bombs into this road here and preventing, basically create a wall of fire, but they thought ahead and they brought a lot of helicopters. A couple of Sokols to the lead, looks like some Mi-24Ds coming down, they're going to take that. My ninja spots a Ka-52, my Ka-52s no doubt have seen my ninja. The Ka-52 does have a longer range and more health with those Igla missiles than the Ninja, though the Ninja does have a more accuracy. It would still favor the Ka-52, so I'm just going to wait for my SAM short arrows, which have the exceptional infrared range. They'll take out those Ka-52s, I'm pretty sure. Tiger 2 is going up against the Sokols. Tiger 2 does go down. The BO is going to fire against this last Sokol as well. Does get shot down by some AA that did manage to get into the forest line. Black Panzer Gepard A2 is going to go and try to shoot down these Mi-24Ds as best as he can. As this main infantry convoy is coming down the center, another one of the BOs do get shot down. So the Allies are going to try to take that town there in the center. My short arrow does successfully take out the Ka-52 right perfectly, but then there's the T-72BU, so I immediately have to back up my short arrow. I get my Kyoroku WAPCs into this far forest because since it's wheeled vehicles, I expected them to get there first, and I was indeed correct. Nanasan Shiki's about to unload the Chumash to be able to take on T-72BU, but it comes a lot of stuff coming straight down into Charlie, and it was 40 Stormers. It might not be enough. Fortunately, there is some reinforcements back here. There's some big 40s which need to have their guns on to try to hold this off. This is just a huge amount of forces that are coming straight down, and there's not very much I can actually do to help. I've got a T-72 bearing down on top of me. My Ka-51 got hit by it. It's jammed gun, but the Chumat does score one hit on T-72BU. Kiyomaru Shiki does hit it as well. Another Chumat missiles coming in. Takes one more hit point off. And it dies. Alright, so T-72BU off the map at the start. The Kyoroku WAPCs take out the Spetsnaz crew that were trying to push in as my Shuju Buntai also joined into the fight. I move up to the Nanasan Shiki 5-point truck, try to see if there's anything that might shoot back, basically screen for my tanks. And then over here onto the left, Surikov is definitely trying to hold off the enemy forces as best as possible. He's got a number of HKP-3Cs unloading some recon. He's dropping some napalm bomber. I guess that was the napalm bomber from the right side. He's going to try to cut off these forces. LSTR-40s do shoot it down. My short arrow moved up, quickly shot down the Sokol that was going in for that right there. Another plane's coming in. My Hajanan Shiki is going to help up by shooting into Formosa. 8 500-kilogram bombs are going to go not drop onto the enemy forces as my priest bridge comes in to try to shoot down the MiG-25 RBF and successfully gets it. So I instantly replied to that bomber. No idea why it didn't drop his bombs. That was a little odd. We've got a Stormer HVM. It's going to be taking out a vehicle there as there is some ATGM missiles into that forest line. They are pushed out of this building for the most part, but some Canadian Rifles 85s are going to come in from the left. Nanasan Shiki managed to get there successfully, so it moves up to Kiyomaru Shiki, as it is my heaviest tanks I have. The K1A1 has recovered from the weapons jam, so I'm putting it here in case the enemy tries to come down this road or see if they can snipe anything that comes forward. And now the FSKs are engaged in the LSTR-40s, and with the fact that they've got two guns, and one of them is an MG3, they are ripping apart the LSTR-40s per man squad. There's the LSTR-40s, even though they have a really good primary gun, just not enough to hold up against infantry. And that push has been successfully deflected by Surikov. Very excellent that he was able to hold that. I would put us in a bad spot, since I made so much progress into the center. Into this right side, we've got the Postman Jaegers, and they're just going to be chewed up by these Formosa and a lot of infantry. So this town is held by the Red Force side for the time being. I am flying my Ninja, but I'm being very delicate. I do not want this shot down. It is exceptional optics, so it's just basically to give me a little bit of an overview in case anything's trying to sneak up. I was trying to see if I could take out that KA-29 TV, but I decided against it. I need to bring up my cargo because I do have a couple of these M36 at the very start, these 10-point vehicles. Problem is, they don't have very good autonomy. Short Arrow moved to the right a little bit and successfully shut down that KA-29. So that's another reason why to bring in some cargo trucks and also to refuel my Short Arrows, which only have 2 missiles left. They've been firing that air almost non-stop as I have the line of vehicles into a good position. I have a Short Arrow a little back, but that's because they do have 3,325 meter range. That's the same range as a Crotel, but they have more missiles than a Crotel by about double. Challenger 1 Mark 1 has gotten pretty far. It is going to prevent enemy reinforcements coming in to the center here. Artillery or mortars are coming in on my M36 and the Nanasan Chiki. The M36 is, of course, running very low on fuel. I'm going to move the Chuman squad, but since these are so cheap vehicles anyway, I do not care if I lose these to any kind of artillery pressure at all. We've got some vehicles coming across. They're going to be going over into India. Sierra 30 is coming down. Going to successfully take out the Challenger 1 Mark 1. Very nice kill with the ATGM plane. That definitely puts my allies a bit on the back foot. Commando 90s are trying to move up, but unfortunately they're being ripped apart by the Formosa's grenade launcher, and then just a sheer amount of infantry here. These Commando 90s are not going to make enough of a difference, and so Sinbad is wisely trying to have them retreat, trying to get behind these M113A1 3050s, which have the double machine gun power. I moved up my Shuchu Buntai and the Kyoboku WAPCs, get them into a bit of a staging position, ready to hold off in case the enemy tries to push forward. And Surikov is trying to stabilize here onto the left-hand side. Finally gained a CV for Charlie to try to give us a little bit more points. I've got my Peace Bridge flying around into the back with its AIM missiles. It's definitely going to be my air superiority fighter screen. M36 only has 6 units of fuel. That might even be liters, I'm not sure. Not really going to run anywhere, so it's probably going to die to the constant mortar artillery. But the Shuchu Buntai have finally seen what they've been waiting for. The KAFV-25s have finally rolled up. They definitely took a while, given the fact that they're tracked. They're not as fast as wheeled vehicles. The Kyoboku WAPCs are going to be launching frag grenades against the Sapper-Z, but the napalm is going to stump these Kyoboku WAPCs. They wisely swap out the Sapper-Z with Monostroke 90 as my Shuchu Buntai are moving forward. They are going to be ripped apart, but that is going to distract them, as my Shosong-Su 85s are going to move up, trying to get into this building. With the KAFV-25s also be able to provide autocannon support, they'll be able to stop any kind of forces that try to push forward, as well as the KA-163. These are anti-air units, but I moved them up just close enough that they'll be able to shoot at anything on the outskirts of this village. And those guns will rip apart infantry very quickly. I'm also moving up the other Nanasan Shiki as the K1A1 and Chuman are repairing and reloading up with the cargo. And I'm just getting ready to push toward into Hotel. Another massive push coming onto the right side. A lot of Commando 90s pushing away, followed up by the Volkswagen 90s who are going to be pushing up against the Commandozi. I don't see any Formosa. They may have actually killed Formosa, which, nope, there they are. Leopard and what did he kill? Looks like a AA unit. I'm blanking on the name. I don't know why. Commandos 90s are kind of getting torn up, but the Volkskrieger 90s are definitely going to be able to help out. One Volkskrieger squad is going to move back to reinforce. Shosong-Sus are in, but I'm not pushing them into the town just yet, as there's about half strength. They are shaken, and they need to have the covering fire by the autocannons and the Vulcan guns, and of course a little bit of a Browning and M60 gun right here. Trying to hold, basically dare the enemy to try to come forward. So to kind of pin the enemy back into this part of the town while I wait for reinforcements. I'm also bringing a lot more reinforcements in wheeled vehicles so that they can get there a lot quicker. Peace Bridge still flying around, providing overwatch for airplanes. And it looks like we finally are making progress into the center. Mi-24Ds are coming for reinforcements, or to reinforce the Red Forest side right here. But my short arrow did fire a shot. Shot didn't seem to hit at all, but the Gepard A2 is going to successfully provide shoot that down. My Peace Bridge is trying to help them out, but I discovered there is a significant amount of AA around. The Mi-24D does successfully unload the infantry into the field before it rapidly blows up, revealing that there's two Commandosi squads that are barreling down, so the Allies do need to have reinforcements. SU-25K is going to be going for my Nana Senshiki KA FV-25, but the SU-25K, yeah, it's okay. Those missiles do have a 50-50% to hit or miss. They originally missed. One more missile goes, takes out one KA FV-25. Short arrow fires a missile, successfully hits. Managed to fire one more missile before it gets out of range, and the missile helps successfully shoot down the Su-25, and that is anti-tank plane that we do not have to deal with anymore. KM-900s are going to drop off these Habyong 90s. The shock train 50-man squads. These are going to be the front line, going to go right in front of the Shosong-Sus, as the Silverraptor WAPC is going to unload the Shuju Buntai. With the frag grenade, they're also going to be able to provide excellent anti-infantry support. Shosong-Su are going to go after the Motostrelki, as the Habyong are going to move forward. KM-900 and the KAFV-25 are going to go over here onto the left to see if they can provide a little bit of autocannon and Browning machine gun fire support. Autocannon is going to go against whatever vehicle is trying to sneak up over here onto the side. KAFV is panicked, so those autocannons are missing quite wide. Missile does successfully take that out, as the Shuju Buntai and Habyong 90s have successfully gotten into the center. The rest of my troops are waiting to see if that center will be secured. Habyong 90 is going to go right up against the Motostrelki, immediately outclassing them. Kiyoroku WAPC is going to be able to also pepper them with a bit of its frag grenade support. And the Shosong-Sus are moving up, provide some M60 fire. Habyong 90s are still going to be engaging directly with those forces, as more Habyong 90s are going to be brought up. They are very good squads. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. At the same time, Surkov is also going to be making a push on his side using Nordland Jagers with 50-man squads. They're going to be able to push successfully forward, especially with the FSK, taking the SPW, and all the troops that he threw into Charlie, he didn't actually was able to reinforce very quickly into Gulf. And did he just surrender? Yep. This guy holding off onto the left side just surrendered, leaving Surikov to have full reign over it. My KAFV-25 is going to shoot at all these APCs that are over onto the horizon with its autocannon. Missile is coming in, goes down and misses. Habyong 90s are moving up, being backed up again by the M60 Shosong-Su 85s. I am losing vehicles here, but they are infantry carriers. I do not particularly care about losing the infantry carriers, as they are little points, and whatever missile shooting at them is whatever missile that does not get to be fired at my tanks, like my Kiyomaru Shiki. Chumat squad starting to move up, as well as the M36. Going to see if he can hold off the enemy forces that are coming onto the right side. M36 is taken out by the Conqueror's M. Kiyomaru Shiki is going to move up to the edge of the tree line so he can have a good vantage point at shooting any kind of vehicle. Shoots at the MTLBV. Conqueror's M missile does fly overhead as Kiyomura quickly acquires it, as it's a very fast rate of fire gun. Another MT-LBV is taken out as bombing run is coming down straight into the center. Short arrows firing. One more missile, please. It's the Avia 28. Does successfully get shot down before it got away, though the plane itself model has disappeared. So, that plane is no longer a threat. Kiyomura continuing to fire, but the T-72BU does successfully take it out as it was on the retreat. Heavy Nagis are going to be separated against these infantry forces, the Sapori 85, they can take out the Sapori, and that is a massive infantry carrier, a killer threat is eliminated, which they do successfully do. Kiyoroku WAPCs quickly bring in more Shuchu Buntai 90 squads, as wheeled vehicles are desperately needed to get the troops into the front line. It was also why I wasn't particularly worried when I got the massive bombing run into the center, because I have been killing so many infantry, and those bombs were a little too late, as I successfully managed to get more reinforcements to fill those roles. Chu mats are going to be napalm peppered, as the Kiyoroku WAPCs are going to try to frag grenade the infantry that are retreating. Napalm does block off the line of sight for those frag grenades, as the Heavy Nagis are going to be really hammered, as this Sapori 85 force is going to engage them in close proximity. They move up quickly, just basically to see what the enemy has as their last final breath, as the Shuchu Buntai 90 squad are going to try to get close onto the Sapori 85. Heavy 90 are going to move back into range of artillery strike that is being called in. Sapori 85 are on the retreat. Shuchu Buntai quickly move in to capitalize and begin opening up with all their guns and quickly take out that massive threat. Monostroke 90s are also on the retreat, as the Havyon 90s with their LMGs and the Shuchu Buntai with their 62 Shikis are going to try to destroy those Monostroke before they get back into the tree line. Chumat squad is moving up into this forest. T-72BU, Chumat quickly lines up the shot, fires the missile, does successfully hit it into the front armor, does a little bit of damage but not enough to kick it out of the fight. Shuchu Buntai and Monostroke are going to exchange guns, as it looks like my allies have successfully retaken this center village, and Surikov, now no longer having any enemy to fight on the left, is pushing forward into help me out, using the smoke as cover. The FSK is going to be trying to take out these Conqueror's M, as my air superiority flame does fly a little too close to the AA. Conqueror's M is taken out as more and more smoke is coming in. What's firing smoke? These Amoses are providing the smoke line to allow these FSKs to get quickly close into the enemy and basically force them back. And that's actually good, because I'm trying to regroup all my forces here into the center with cargo trucks and any kind of supply that I can. Whereas Surikov is going to keep them occupied and not let them a moment to breathe, which I was just about to let do, so I could have a moment to breathe. SC-24M is going to drop all these bombs onto these FSKs and rapidly take out a lot of those squads, but the one commando squad quickly recovers and is already back to shooting at the Monostroke, but the Zalos with their fast rapid fire gun do successfully take out the FSKs, and the enemy is going to move forward. KM-900s are going to screen for the short arrow as it moves up. Better give me some AA umbrella coverage. We've got some mortars here that are getting some counter mortar action on top of them. They're going to be pushed back out of this fight. And my ninja is still hovering over here, basically trying to provide any extra recon it can for my allies in case the enemy tries to push forward here down from India. Amphibabel, I guess that's how it's called, about to unload some Kustjagers. The K900s do get taken out, but they were only 10-point trucks, so not too much of a fear of losing them. Short arrow did move back a bit because of that, so I can keep that alive. These short arrows are key. With them, I can keep any helicopter threat away. CV is out in the open. That's probably the CV that was for Hotel, that they end up retreating when I successfully took over this town. Electric Voodoo is flying overhead, see if you can find any seed plane except a Grom, fires an F-11C. So this Voodoo is going to evac out of there. More mortars are coming in. As with the combined forces of Zeta Zerte and Sinbad, we now are got a good staging position to be pushing into India. While I continue pushing down into the center, the cheap APCs are moving up, especially with the short arrow. I brought forward my Chugata CV squad. Is going to take over the hotel in a moment. FSKs are going to move up, find out there's still a little bit of Monostroki left into this tree line, and they're going to be gunning down those Monostroki quickly. The Kiyoroku WAPCs are backing up Zurikov's infantry forces. The rest of my infantry still need to be repaired up with supply, which is why CH-47D is landed here. It's going to quickly refuel these AAKM 163 so they can move up into the fight, and the cargo squad trucks are going to quickly reload up and then get the supply into the town and get those infantry all ship-top shape ready to go. K1 is going to be moving up into the forest. Quickly brought a K1 because I was low on points and it was the most expensive tank I could bring in at the time. Even then, it took quite a while for it to get on to the front line because all of our forces start here and they've got a very, 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 very long way in order to get into the action. So a lot of my stuff is almost out of fuel by the time it gets here. But fortunately, I have supply ready to go over here. Ninja is going to slide a little bit to the left. Again, trying to get a little bit of sight onto the enemy forces. FSK using that smoke to just mosey right up to the enemy forces. This is a very clever ploy for the smoke to allow these commando infantry to basically just get right into range and to take out with these Eric's missiles any vehicle that is within range. So that is actually very clever on Zurikov's part. Just all that smoke, and especially these Amos, which have quite a bit of range to be able to shoot smoke for that far. Cargo's finally getting into the town. Going to prepare up all of these infantry into the center, and I am just going to keep pushing forward as hard as I can, see how far I can keep pushing, and smartly keep pushing as well. Zurikov's going to bring forward some cheap recon to help me out here, as looks like an Su-22 M4 is going to be coming down the center. Tornado IDS is going to be dropping those bombs on to try and take out those mortars. Tuncha. Mortar the way. Definitely taken, those are taken out. Su-22 M4 drops its bombs. Short, my High-Hawk Pip is going to fire its missile. Successfully shoots it in the butt. And that is a plane we will see no more. KM-163 is moving up to be able to provide a bit of AA fire support, especially with the KM-900. It's also to see where the enemy forces is. And it looks like the FSK may have gotten the CV in Kilo, as this sector is no longer captured. Chugata cargo truck, which brought my CV for a hotel, is moving up alongside the Kiyoroku WAPC to basically provide an extra target for the enemy to shoot at with any anti-tank guided missiles, as my K1 is moving up, followed closely by the short arrow to make sure no helicopters try to stop it. Shumat is providing a good cover fire down here into the road, as my all the infantry that are full health are going to be moving forward. The Habion 90 are not quite repaired up just yet, but these Habion 90s are going to be joining them quite quickly. M36 are almost to the front line, but as you can see, they're almost out of fuel from coming in from spawn. Kiyomaru Shinki is already about half fuel, so like I said, very long way to go if you're trying to continue your assault on Juliet, and Juliet is their only spawn point, and that is definitely going to be where I'm tunnel visioned on. I'm definitely going to be going straight for Juliet as soon as I am confident that I have the forces to do so. M36 almost out of fuel, but I'm just going to keep rolling it up. 10 points vehicle, no fear of losing it, and it will basically provide me some very valuable recon. And what I mean by recon is if anything shoots at it, I know there's something out there that can shoot a vehicle. But since this is here, I know this is about the line that I know of so far that Any tanks moving up can go. My recon squad is going to be going up into this forest, followed closely by the Chumat, so that would be able to provide me some ATGM blanket. Over here, vehicles are moving here onto the right-hand side. I quickly move up my K1, see if I can cut off this reinforcement so that I can help out my allies here into India, even though they really don't need it. I definitely want to be able to cut off this reinforcement route. A couple of planes coming in, so that looks like a job for the short arrows. And I'm just moving everything forward. Surikov's using these Scanias to and these helicopters to quickly repair the Havyog 90s that I have right there. Havyog 90 is also going to be able to form a defensive line in case they try to do a massive counter push down the center. STRV 103Cs are going to be moving up, going to encounter an ATGM missile to the face. Another ATGM is coming in on the side. STRV successfully take out the ATGM that shot at them. A couple of shells are flying in. STRVs are going to fire position, try to take out whatever is shooting at them, but whatever it is that's firing at them from the tree line is definitely a tank. I tell Surikov to move the FSKs because my Chumats are about to get into that building line, and that will stop, like I said, any vehicles from pushing forward. Another Chumat squad going for this vehicle here. Tornado ECR is going to fire some seed missiles against the radar AA into that forest line, as my M36 has been refueled and is moving up again. Kiyoroku WAPCs are successfully taking the missiles for the K1 as the K1 moves up, fires and misses the Conqueror's M, but the Conqueror's M targets the Chugata truck, which is just a 5-point truck to bring in infantry, as the K1 is still trying to target the Conqueror's M, missed several shots in a row, quickly trying to reload as missiles are flying in. Missile does take out the Conqueror's M, and all the other missiles are missing. T-72PU was firing with its missile. Hits the front arm of the K1 as it technically survives. The Chumat misses with its missile, but it's going to be scaring off that T-72BU. K1 is going to try to move up, see if he can get a shot onto the Conqueror's M before it dies. But it dies to the C-72BU instead. Kiyomaru Shiki is going to see if he can move up and take on the T-72BU. Takes a shot by an ATGM and is going to have to retreat. Plane is going down there. That's unfortunate. That's a huge bombing run onto the left-hand side by Surikov, basically providing support role with those bombs that's able to stun up, maybe even massively damage whatever tanks there are. KM-900s again trying to draw their fire, see what the enemy might have. Kiyomaru Shiki, even taking the shell to the face, is still nice and calm. Chumat's also going to move up, see what it can do. And I am just going for it. We see my allies here onto the right-hand side. I know that we can pincer them in for the win. K1 is moving up as the cheap vehicles are moving up to take the shots as typical. Kiyomaru Shiki takes out the tank right there as the T-72BU reveals itself. Kiyomaru Shiki is going to do a little bit of back and forth action with the K1A1, it also backing it up, taking out the ZSUs. ATGM missile misses right over the head of the Kiyomaru Shiki as it quickly fires and takes out the Conqueror's M. Looks like the T-72BU either backed up or died. I think it backed up. I don't think there's no carcass that I see. T-55 Recon is going to be trying to hold off the enemy forces, but the Kiyomaru Shiki with its fast-firing gun quickly takes that out. Recon is moving up. The Guska M fires a missile and is going to successfully take out my T-72. Now, my Block 52D is going to engage with the F-18, and both of them get stunned by the sheer amount of missiles being hit, with the short arrows quickly taking that out. My Block 52D is going to retreat alive successfully, as Kiyomaru Shiki is still moving up, shooting at anything that might exist. The UAZ is revealed, the CV for Juliet, and that's going to be a loss of a reinforcement point for the enemy. T-72BU fires with its missile, misses with the K1A1. I quickly keep moving up, making sure to keep the front armor in front. Short arrow quickly shoots down another helicopter as I am pushing in for the jugular to take out the enemy. There's only one more CV that has to be left and I definitely want to keep the enemy from pushing forward successfully. Another missile from this T-72BU moving up. Hits this K1A1 on the side. Kiyomaru Shiki hits the T-72 into the front as the K1A1 takes out the last CV and an APC and wins us the game for a major victory. So I definitely had a lot of fun with that game. It felt so nice to be able to use tanks again, and also basically punching the front line and smashing in the enemy forces' teeth. On the right side with Zeta and Sinbad, definitely good job retaking the town and pushing forward there. Surikov, excellent supporting role as I pushed in straight down the center line. Definitely had a lot of fun there. Looking quick at the kill feed, the short arrow killed a lot of aircraft that were flying overhead. Kiyomaru Shiki also killed a lot of stuff, including the T-72BU. And a lot of other kills going on here. Short arrow helping to provide a supporting role. Beast Bridge shooting down that bomber. Another K1A1 able to get off that last CV kill quite nicely as the other Kiyomaru Shiki is able to take out a number of tanks, and Chumet got us drop 2 at the end there. So, overall, fun game. If you ever have any other decks you want me to make and play with, please do like, comment, subscribe, and let me know what deck you want me to play next in the comments down below, and I'll see you all in the next video.